Welcome to Business Live. I'm Mark Croskery. In BL tonight, first up, we got the growth company, the company that is just really doing big things on the market very quietly. This is Pharma. So pharmaceutical firm. They had come out, a couple of months ago saying that they engaged a company that is, Sagicor Investments, for a private placement. Now we're seeing here that they're coming out and saying that they have secured their private placement bond. Recently on Business Live, we carried, fantastic earnings. The revenues were a bit down, but the profitability was way up, 30% or higher for Pharma Jamaica. So now Pharma, the company, coming out and saying it has secured a whopping 805 million Jamaican dollars private placement bond. It's for a 5-year term in terms of loan payment plan, and it's been secured for the following reasons, and this is following up which they had come out and indicatively told the market. So it's to repay Bioprist Holdings $398,750,000. This is to repay that use these funds to secure a property in St. James, which is they're going to do the Indies business park, and also to develop and get approval for 2 abbreviated new drug applications from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So we're not sure if that's going to cost, let's say, or for an R&D purpose, research and development, the balance or the difference, which would be, a whopping or a huge amount, 400 million, Jamaican dollars. It is definitely a big figure for us in Jamaica or the Caribbean. When you look at huge companies, like let's say Merck, Abbott Labs, lots of these companies globally, 400 million Jamaican is not a lot of money when you talk about R&D, research and development. So Pharma quietly making massive moves. If you're looking for a growth stock on the market, not many. If you're looking for a new Lasco, remember what Lasco did from, let's say, 2007 or even 2009 onward after listing. So think about that. Clearly Pharma making big moves, doing big things, taking big, capex moves like this in the market right now, and they were doing this even pre-COVID as well. Next up, we got Limners and Bards, better known as the Lab, appointments to the Corporate Governance Committee here. So the board of directors coming out, making some moves here, in terms of the Corporate Governance Committee. So Mr. Stephen Gooden, that's the chairperson, Kimala Bennett, the CEO of the Lab, Rochelle Cameron, and Michael Bennett, known as Mikey Bennett, all now on the Corporate Governance Committee. Great moves there, that's a good thing. So next up we got here, actually, Palace Amusement, 1921, making some big moves here. We don't talk about them much on Business Live. They tend not to necessarily have too much corporate action items, but they've been very profitable in the past, one of the sleepers on the stock market, but the shares are very tightly held. So they're coming out here, getting an additional license, and they make it very clear, in a continued effort to provide additional safe space for their customers, they've obtained an additional license for premises in New Kingston on Dominica Drive. That's a drive-in cinema, and they obtained this license on August 21st, 2020. So, everybody remember back in the day, you go to a drive-in cinema, whether it's your family, your girlfriend, you take your significant other, well known, bringing this back now clearly with COVID-19 here. And, they would have had this also in Harbour View, now coming back to New Kingston. So exciting times here, going forward, everybody looking to pivot and make some more revenue. On that point now, Knutsford Express, COVID-19 or C19 really hitting Knutsford Express fourth quarter. We would have thought they would have really marched through, driven through this, but Knutsford Express having a tough time in their year end and their fourth quarter. They're still profitable though, that's the key point. So revenues falling to $1.02 billion from $1.14 billion. Now cash, a key figure, falling to $39 million from $132 million year over year. That's not just from cash burn or so. You look in the balance sheet, you'll see, quite a lot put into PP&E, property, plant and equipment. But the bottom line here, net profits falling to $33.5 million from $188.4 million. Now the bulk of that, difference is really happening in the fourth quarter. You don't get to see that, it's not broken out. You'd have to look at the 9 months or the third quarter and just kind of take it out from the audited year, and these are the audited statements overall. So a tough time for Knutsford Express, just like most companies with C19. Last up, big news here. We've been talking a lot about Penn National and also, Barstool Sports. Now we're seeing something interesting. Walt Disney Company, ESPN clearly fighting back. DraftKings, which has been doing great this year, up 300%. The stock price, up 3 times, market cap $16.5 billion US dollars already this year. So, digital platforms doing great. So DraftKings signing a big deal here with online content with ESPN, which is a company, for, Walt Disney. So it's going to, do crossover, sports betting, group, DraftKings, with ESPN, just make Walt Disney more with it and so forth, and just integrate the products across both platforms. So exciting times, competitive environment between traditional and digital platforms as we move forward. DraftKings stock price really benefiting, trading around 45, 46 US dollars already. I'm Mark Croskery, this is Business Live.